Healing for me, healing for me, healing for me. And so, if you're typical, you look at the whole issue of healing and it's between an exclamation mark and an exclamation point and a question mark. And you know, we wonder about it, you know, why are some people healed and some people aren't healed? And why was it that everybody that Jesus reached out to was healed? And why is it that today, you know, sometimes we pray for healing and it happens just like we want it to, and other times it just doesn't. Some think that there's verses in the Bible that talk about by his wounds we are healed. Some feel that if you have enough faith that it's a birthright of every Christian to be physically healed every time. And so is that how I approach it? Is that what we're to think? Well, I'm not going to ever tell you what to think. That's up to you. But I will share with you some thoughts that I have around this whole idea of healing. I do believe that God is all powerful and can do anything. And I do believe that he's all loving and will do the right thing. And I do believe that he's good and that we can absolutely trust him. And I don't know where you're at in your faith, but my prayer is that as a result of this message that it'll help you to be stronger, all of us to be stronger in our faith. But what I'd like to begin with is a simple statement that Jesus has the power to make us whole again. Through the course of life, we can tend to discover that we may be broken. We may be broken because other people have harmed us. We may be broken because relationships that we've had have broken down. We may be broken because people have said things about us. Or we may have come to the conclusion that, you know, there's something about us that we're not exactly the people that we would ideally be. That there's a disconnect between who I think a person ought to be and how I think life ought to go and the reality that I find in my life. And the word that could describe all of this is brokenness. And we may not know how we've gotten there, but the fact is everyone, one way or another, is broken. And the good news is there is someone that can make us whole again. If we trust him, there's someone that can. So let's begin by talking about what would you say is our greatest need? What would you say is our core sickness? Our core sickness. Now, we know that no matter what, even if we pray for someone when they're sick, sooner or later, everyone dies. You know, I've known people. I can remember a couple of folks where they got into their later in life, and they weren't feeling as good as they once did, and the way they defined life, it just wasn't happening the way it should. And they didn't in any way feel like it was their prerogative to decide when their life ended, and of course that's another discussion. And but they were just ready to be done. And so really the core issue that we're talking about, whatever we're talking about, is it has to deal with that. The fact that even if we experience physical healing from time to time, whether it be a cold or a sore muscle or a sore back or something more serious, the fact is that we'll all die. And the question is, are we situated so that we're ready to meet the one who made us. Now, my point in talking about that isn't to make any of us frightened, but just to say that I think that's the core issue. And I believe that if we can deal with that core issue of the fact that we're going to come to an end, that if we can deal with that, we can have true life today. And the way the scriptures look at it is it's sort of the idea that there's a path that leads to destruction, and there's a path that leads to life, and that if we want life, we need to choose that path and choose the Lord who makes it possible for us to walk on that path. So the idea is that Jesus came to die on the cross to take care of our core issue, so that we might live without fear. Not fear of death, not fear of water, not fear of heights, not fear of people, not fear of not fitting in, that we might live without fear because he loves us and he accepts us, and he went to his death to demonstrate that. So that whatever we've done, whatever we've thought, whatever we've said that's been unacceptable, he forgives it. That's the good news. Do you believe that? That is the good news. And so that's the core issue. A doctor, of course, can heal our bodies. And so we go to doctors, and there's nothing wrong with going to doctors. And God uses doctors, nurses, all sorts of medical practitioners to bring wonderful treatment that God can use to heal us, and we certainly want to do that. And so let's move on. We've talked about the core need. Does that make sense? So Jesus healed people. How did he do it? What do we see him doing? In this passage that we read a moment ago, we see all sorts of healing. One general pattern is that people would bring their friends to Jesus, or people would come to him, and they'd kind of expect that he could heal them, and that's why they brought him. And what's incredible is that that's exactly what he did. So Peter's mother-in-law was ill. She had a very high fever. We don't know why, maybe some kind of infection. The fact is, Jesus rebuked the fever, didn't even touch her, and she got better. She got 100% better, to the point where she was able to actually do what she would have wanted to do, likely, and provide them with hospitality. An incredible thing, because they begged him for healing. So that idea of how people went about getting physical healing tells us something about spiritual healing, and that is every single person in this account from Luke who went to Jesus was healed. Now, we know that not everybody's healed physically, but the need that we all have, the scriptures tell us that everyone who goes to the Lord will be saved. There's a verse that says, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. And it's far more important that issue would be dealt with. That issue that would be dealt with. I saw someone recently who was gravely ill. And one of the things that the family took comfort in was knowing that this individual had a strong relationship with God. And they knew that because of that person's relationship with Jesus, that he knew him personally, that he would be at peace, and that all would be okay. So when we talk about this kind of healing, the healing of our relationship with God, if you turn to him, if you look to him, if you call to him, we'll be saved. We'll be healed. That's the message. And in the Bible, these things happen instantly, and the testimony of person after person after person is you look to the Lord, call on him, and he helps. How many of us would say, we're worried about something, we're stressed about something, we're overcome with perhaps fear, we pray, we turn it over to the Lord, and things start to get better, at least in our own mind, at least in our own heart. That's an incredible thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? And so we know that everyone who believes and trusts in Jesus and the fact that he died for us, everyone will be forgiven who looks to him for help. And as we can trust him for that, we can trust him for the rest. So what about this role of faith? Faith is an important thing. I read an article in Psychology Today that was written quite a few years ago, and it's called "You're Healed If You Think You Are." And the author of this article was coming from a slightly different place than I do, as far as believing in all sorts of intrinsic power that's in our bodies, unless you would say that God placed it there. But she reports on some surveys where people willingly do this. I don't know that I would ever do this, but people willingly, they take part in a study and they say, well, here's the study, and you've got asthma. And so what we're going to do is some of you will get the stuff that really fixes asthma. And others of you will just get a placebo or just get a sugar pill. I don't know why you would ever agree to take the sugar pill, but some of them didn't make it, unfortunately. I guess they took the placebo or what. I don't know if that's what happens or not. It isn't. I don't think they're that threatening. But the bottom line is, you would expect the people that get treatment would get better. That's not a surprise. What's a surprise is that half of the people that take the placebo also get better, because they took the pill in the hope, in having faith that pill would make them better, and it did make them better. And they found that having the right amount of faith can affect all sorts of things. And we know that that's true. That's something that God has placed in us. Faith does play an incredibly important role. Person after person, when Jesus heals them, he tells them, it happened because you believed it would. Do you believe that I'm able to make you well? The person says, I do. According to your faith, it will be done to you. But does that mean that there's any kind of guarantee there? Does it? Because some people hear that and they say, I thought I believed. I thought my loved one believed. I really did. But they got sicker and sicker and sicker. I thought they believed. I thought I believed. And it becomes pretty clear that they get put on hospice and they pass away. Did they get something wrong? What happened? How do you come to terms with that? We believe that God is good. We believe that he loves us. We believe that he's all-powerful. But his ultimate goal for you and for me is that we would trust him, that we would trust our lives to him. And at the end of the day, he has work for us to do here that we need to do, but there will come a time when we've done everything he wants us to do. And what's crazy is that's not all the same. But it seems to me, the way I've come to terms with this, is that we just say, well, I'm just going to trust him. I'm going to trust him. And admittedly, when we're talking about someone that passes away when they're well along in years, that's not hard. But when you see somebody in their prime of life and they don't make it, then you're just saying, what in the world? But at the end of the day, I would say, I've come to the conclusion, I just have to trust him. And I just have to give him the freedom to be God. And I have to take away and stop thinking I have a responsibility to do something that I just can't, or that you just can't. I don't want to do anything to diminish any of our faith in God, because I believe He wants us to put all of our trust in Him. All of our trust in Him. Trusting that He's good. And I want us to trust Him with our sickness and with our answers. And I want to trust Him even when He says it's not happening. And I want to trust Him with the fact that He's not going to explain Himself to me. He's just not. I don't know if He ever is. I don't know if He ever is. But there I just go back into saying, I guess must be that I'm just your child, and I'm going to have to trust that you love me and know what's best. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's how I come to terms with this, and thought I'd share it with you. I found a story about a guy by the name of Praveen. And Praveen found the core healing that we've been talking about. Praveen grew up in India, and his family moved to the United States. And Praveen was smart, and he studied genetics at Cornell University, ultimately graduating, and today he's a professor of genetics at Cornell University. And Praveen was asked by a fellow student when he was at Cornell, he was asked what he believed, and he had never taken the time, and maybe you've never taken the time, to examine what he believed and why. So he decided to dig in, and he looked at Hinduism, and then he looked at Christianity. And in the Gospels, what he discovered that surprised him was what happened to the hero of the story. Remember, we were talking about the cross. He says Jesus was supposed to be the hero of the story, but at the climax of the tale, quite unlike the Hindu superhero Krishna, somehow he died on the cross. Naked, disfigured, died on the cross. But somehow the power and version of this crucified man attracted Praveen. After months of reading, questioning, and sifting through evidence, he started following Jesus. His family thought that he would disown them. But he said, no, following Jesus, well, he said it this way, becoming Christian had nothing to do with rejecting my Indian heritage or being called by a different name. Rather, it was about embracing God's interwoven presence in the history of mankind, Christ's love and sacrifice for us, and our desperate need for Him. There were certainly aspects of his Hindu heritage that he would need to leave to follow Christ, but Praveen was proud to be an Indian, proud of the richer culture from which he came, and which he planned to pass on to his children. So he, through Christ, experienced that core healing that we're talking about. We're going to wrap it up. I don't know where you're at with this. But if there's someone that you know or love and you're praying for healing for them, I'd encourage you to keep on praying. And when I pray for folks, when I'm praying for healing, I always pray for healing, because I think that there's always work that God can do on me, on you, in our mind, in our heart. There's always healing that can be done. And encourage you to pray for them for healing no matter where they're at. And if you're not at peace in that fundamental way with God, I trust that you'll reach out to Jesus, just as Praveen did. It makes all the difference in the world. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you that you are all powerful, all loving, and you certainly are good. And in our hearts right now, we name before you people that we're aware of that need healing. We pray for them in Jesus' name. Oh Lord, thank you for this opportunity. Help us to continue to grow in our trust in you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.